could have full control of the map for ages, and then they're just thinking about closing. They understand the issues with Ezreal Karma, and Uniq understand that they understand the issues with Ezreal Karma. Let's get ready to rumble, boys! Oh!
Come on, fight! No, don't walk away from each other.
Why is the poke team just poking them? My God, man. Wanted a level 1 with some more chest hair than that, guys. You've disappointed middle top.
I am fundamentally not happy.
But realistically, right, that's how it was going to go. Uniq were going to poke them at range there. Ruddy were going to just back up towards their Caitlyn Lux, make sure they can play with their range. But look, right? Whereas you have lethal tempo and you have longsword, you've got barrier heal bot lane. This is a bot lane that can take a lot of damage. They're not scared that Pool 227 could come down and mess with them. They're not scared that he could jump on them in team fights. They haven't thought we need that exhaust or anything like this. Very reliant on his teammates to be that crowd control, to effectively be that exhaust. He's going to take the barrier. Islux is going to take the hill and take that hill around the map with them. They're very confident that they can get their early game plan off.
Well, and I guess the sort of natural extension of that point, Graf Veteran, is that hubris? Is that something that you feel that Ruddy should have invested more resources into countering?
No, I think if you need to go exhaust in that lane, then you are essentially like it's a waste to pick this top side.
Yeah.
Right? So I actually do agree with their approach here. But to make it count, they have to be winning this 2v2. I love the positioning of Karma Ezreal on the bot lane there. This top lane matchup, do agree with the grasp on the Ornn. All he can really look to do here is poke with W, unless Rifty just burns W ult in his face or something. There's nothing really that he can do here. It's not a typical Ornn v melee matchup where he's just going to win all the time. Rifty, he's just going to look to proc his Qs off, isn't he? And that's about it. Yep, so it has turned into fist fighting to the death in bot lane, but Peterson Cyrex, they're not letting him crash a wave in, right? They have those options. So every time they throw a Q out like that, maybe you can try to trade back, but what you really want is Peterson burning his Qs on you away from the wave. That's why Nash isn't worried about being away from his minions here, because if Peterson throws the Qs on Nash, that's a wave that then Voxney can actually push in. But if you deny them that, if you keep just playing to clear these waves over and over again, it's like a Gragas matchup into Jax, constantly neutralizing the potential for them to just dive you. If they played any other way, Nonan could be looking to dive instead of
Oh, he hadn't been spotted! Gets a decent chunk of damage down onto Antwer. With that pressure in the bot lane that Voxney and Nash do have though, that's why Noname feels free to move into the jungle. He's actually going to get a steal on the blue buff. That's pretty decent for the Gragas. He's going to be able to clear a couple more camps as well. And this is putting Antwer in great position early game on the Wukong.
Yep. It's interesting that he's moving back into recontest because Ezreal Karma, maybe they think they have time, but all Caitlyn has to do is just push this wave in and they will lose a lot. If this goes neutral, maybe Antwer gets this, but Ruddy care about that bot lane discrepancy.
They're just not stopping. Oh, that's the binding landing onto Antwer. Is going to be able to get out of there with his life, but, well, I mean, we were saying that Ruddy needed to play towards bottom lane. I think for the first 3.5 minutes, they've done nothing but that.
Yep, but they couldn't get a dive off, but Uniq, they decided it was more worth to fix the Wukong's bot side jungle than it was to pick up their wave on the tower. And given that, look at the CS lead. Right? That worked out as well for Ruddy as they could hope for. This is a scenario where Wukong should maybe have been looking to do a big trade on top side. He had the information on the amount of camps that Gragas had done at that point. But instead, you know, Ruddy, they've gotten everything they wanted in the first rotation. Obviously, the stretch goal would be diving Uniq and getting that 2v2 kill. But ultimately, they're happy.
It's a pretty substantial trade, actually. Oh, this is an all-in. Cyrex is forced to flash away. Barrier burnt by Denvox there, and Pedersen is in the wrong side of things. We'll be able to get out with a boost from the shield. But Ruddy's bot lane really sort of going to town in these early stages. And someone else that was doing a pretty decent job there was Noname. actually the jungler for Ruddy, who's had a couple of difficulties, I want to say, in a few of his early plays, but it's nice to see here on the Gragas, a less orthodox pick, but he's making it work thus far.
Yep. Caitlyn, 44 CS at this point. Easily able to recall. Cyrex Peterson wants to contest this. I think they'll be very happy to take that 2v2. And No Name on the recall now. So No Name is now ahead of Antwer on itemization. Caitlyn Lux are ahead of Ezreal Karma on itemization.
Ooh.
Karma does seem to have the mana though, so they won't be able to just lock Ezreal Karma in lane there. They should be able to clear this out, crash this into tower on time. And if so, they will be able to come back at least with some form of itemization. But Ezreal came in with the PTA start, came in with the longsword start. That's as aggressive as you can do as a start on the Ezreal. It guarantees your ability to be able to fight in the initial 2v2s, but it went them Voxnay and Nash's way. And it went that way just down to very strong 2v2 play.
And I think this is kind of what Ruddy does a lot of the time. They had their absolute banger video on their Twitter the other day about one of their recent wins, just manifesting a gold lead almost out of nowhere, right? Not getting very many kills, but the gold lead building sort of 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. That's how they play. It's all about influencing where their opponent can stand and gaining resources based off of that influence.
Yeah, I mean, that's just good League of Legends. No Name, though. He doesn't have his ultimate.
He's got Nash, though, who's here to help him out. The clone will get Antwer out of that situation as Pedersen. A little bit worse for wear, but absolutely fine. And I'm getting deja vu. Veteran at No Name is once again camping in this bot side jungle.
Yep, I mean, he did his top side camps. His bot side camps were the only ones open. Now he has nowhere else to be, really, but bot lane. The big thing is you can just leave this Cassante up, and he's just going to naturally win the matchup. Look, he already has a 10 CS lead. Antwer isn't doing anything about it, right? Because, you know, if you leave this bot lane alone, I mean, that tower is just dead. Your bot lane is just dead. So he's forced to match here. No Name. Not a care in the world about top lane. I'm not even sure if he knows Rifty's actually, like, entered Discord for this game. You know, this is the whole game right here. The whole early game is around this. They are 2 plates down, and they are 1.5k gold ahead already, 7 minutes into the game. It's gone up by 500 gold in the minute since we were talking about them getting these incremental gold leads. And look, the pressure just keeps going,
Oh no,
that could be a
Cyrex
kill! No!
Blooded by the ace in the hole from Voxnay. Little bit of an overstep, and Ruddy not shy about punishing Antwer. Blushing a little bit as he's looking towards bottom lane, but there is nothing that he can do here. Ruddy, holy moly, that CS lead on Voxnay, absolutely massive now as well. Wonder if we could look at the gold. Blimey, that is 1,200 gold ahead.
Anyone who's been coached by me in solo queue knows that my general rule of thumb is that pre-8 minutes, it's not really worth greeding for plates over getting your recall. We have just reached 8 minutes, and Nash and Voxnay have 4 plates. I just want to clarify, this is not a regular occurrence, guys. I wouldn't necessarily say it's greeding, but it is so insane, the lead that they have gotten here. And on that kill that they got on the Ezreal, Karma actually did ultimate E and was moving to block the ultimate from Caitlyn, but No Name on the Gragas E'd the Karma to lock her in place so she couldn't block the ultimate from Caitlyn there. So, very well played by all 3 members of Ruddy on the bot lane. I hate to ever say a game is lost in draft, but, you know, you can see the absolute power of the draft here. Rifty just absolutely demolishing Ornn in one of Ornn's hardest matchups on one of the best champions in the game. Bot lane going as expected.
Veteran, the gold lead is 2,500. They've got more gold out of somewhere. I mean, it's another excellent early game coming out here from Ruddy, and looking for more here. No Name with a big bowl of damage down onto Antwer, who comes through with the ultimate. Knights are there with the last breath, but no one's died just yet. Paul looking for No Name and will find him on the Akali. Nash has roamed up and will supply some damage so Nita can take down the opposite mid laner. 1 for 1 in the topside river.
All right, no flash on the Karma now. That could turn into something later on. It definitely makes it harder for her to avoid dives on the tower. This whole time, though, then Voxnay, he's taking out the last plate. That is a 9 minute and 52 seconds bot tower, and Cyrex can only run for his life. That is definitely a flash burn if Demboxnay kept going. No ultimate to execute, but after this wave, I assume it's just a straight recall. And the interesting thing will be to see where Ruddy places her next, right? Ruddy have full map tempo. What Uniq would prefer is for Caitlyn to go towards the mid lane, but I think this is a situation where you can try to play really hard for the top side tower as well now. Yep. Look at Ornn's situation. He pretty much, if he does not recall and teleport there, that guy is getting dived by the 2v2 of Ruddy. So, yep, immediate recall there. Rifty's just leaving the wave in a good position. Rifty can now move towards the midsection and then catch the bottom wave, but he should move towards the midsection first, right? Even though he's your weak side guy, you do want him here in the event of any contest. There's no reason for him to go all the way up bot lane right now. There's much more reason for him to be top side. Look at his lead, by the way. He has a 20 CS advantage over the Ornn. Just a natural advantage you get from this Cassante priority. The Ornn was a nice pick into a potential Kate Lux, but I mean, they've controlled it very well. Yeah, I mean, have fun. Rest of the game is going to be like this, by the way. The counterplay for Uniq is to send Ezreal Karma towards mid and force the Caitlyn Lux to have to match them on mid. That's the only real counterplay that they have. If you are able to get priority in midsection, you can lean up towards this top tower and try to prevent them taking it. But they sent Karma top, and they're doing it again. So you just have Ezreal in mid. Yasuo is able to get priority because they have no idea what's happening in river. So Ruddy still have all the tempo on top side to play with.
And it means that Neos is kind of locked under this tower, but Antwer is going to open up with the Cyclone to look for a play. Cool, the Forge God goes wide, but then Voxnay is still in a pretty bad position, able to flash away, and No Name can disengage as well with the explosive cast. No one already going down, but Uniq making a play, trying to send it to the 5-2 team.
A reminder of how fast this game is going. You might think that off of that, there was real potential for Uniq to just stomp that fight, but it's going to be another 2 minutes until Akali actually has Unleashed Teleport. For now, those factors aren't in the game. That happens in 2 minutes' time. Akali can TP and flank on them on that ward that you see all the way up in the top side. That could have very well been a comeback play. I think you have to make these plays anyway when your cooldowns are up, because right now, the only way for you need to get back into the game is to fight them under all of these towers. Otherwise, the only real map play you have is forcing Kate Lux into mid, but you didn't do anything with Karma in midsection there. You didn't try a contest priority against Yasuo there. You didn't try to get numbers advantage top. So now Kate Lux, they've decided to go mid, seeing that the Ezreal Karma are there, and you really haven't gotten anything out of it thus far.
And does pose a difficult spot for Uniq, and when they're looking for those plays, right, as a result of this early game, they are down on itemization. Like, they're not going to be able to contest with what Ruddy have got for themselves. Herald going to be summoned in the mid lane, take down that tower. Ruddy attempting a sweep on these outer towers. That top lane one, the only one remaining for Uniq, as that goal lead has ballooned to over 5,500, 13.5 minutes in.
But Uniq are the real winners here, because Ruddy have taken 13 plates and not one more. So there's a massive element of bad luck going into the mid game here. See, you have to see these things, Middlecop, right? Like, if you don't see these...
That is a level of superstition that I would not be comfortable basing my League of Legends analysis off. Well,
I mean, if you're just going to throw that away, then Ruddy have just basically won the game. So I don't know. I'm not going to say it. I think there are very good spiritual chances for Uniq at this stage of the game. The guy that we really want to focus on, though, is going to be Pool 227, right? Yeah. If Uniq are able to get a play where Pool 227 can say, you know what, then Vox say, that HP looks really nice, and that Goldie looks really nice, but it's the same HP that you had in the early levels. I'm just going to one-shot you. That's their play. So look at the itemization, right? We're going in towards Rocket Belt areas. if he gets onto that and he can find the way onto the Kate Lux, that's the play, right? That's the plan. That's what you got to do. But you have to get it through a Cassante, through a Gragas, through a Yasuo. That's everything you need to go through to get towards the Kate Lux. But if they're able to escort him there, he can do some damage.
And I think that's been the rough thing for Uniq over the course of this split as, hold on, we're looking for a play onto them Voxnay. We have caught him out with the Cyclone. Antwer just deletes the AD carry for Ruddy. Taking a couple of turret shots there. Will keep him alive as Rifty is teleported in. Will go all out on the Monkey. Another 1-for-1. Both teams hunting for blood.
But that is very good. They know now that Ruddy aren't going to be coordinated enough to just defend their Caitlyn every single time. That's brilliant. More stuff like that. Imagine those kills go towards their carries, right? That is a huge game changer. It's good that they don't even need the Akali to get that damage down, right? So I think they can take that. They can be very, very confident that they could get another fight like that. Because, you know, this Gragas on his own is not enough. So if Ruddy keeps splitting like this, maybe you got some chances. Akali finishing that rocket belt now, that's a huge damage spike for her. On these two items, she's a threat to any squishy.
Yeah, and I think another sort of angle that Uniq can be looking towards is Ruddy haven't really taken many neutral objectives. They've done a number on the structures that Uniq had, but it's 16 minutes in, there's only one Drake been taken, the next one's spawning in 3 minutes, and Uniq might be looking for a pick onto the Ruddy jungler. No Name gets out of there with the help of Nash, but that means that you don't have the looming threat of a soul hanging over you, right? And yes, the Baron is something that Ruddy are going to be pressuring even more in a few minutes' time, but you don't have that ticking time bomb that you have to be worried about, at least not yet.
Yeah, that's very true, but in 3 minutes and 10 seconds time, we are going to be into the late game, and we define that by the Baron spawn, and that's definitely something that Ruddy are going to be able to pick up expeditiously, unless another pick is made onto the Caitlyn, right? So we can expect a lot of these key ultimates to be saved for that midsection play around 19 minutes. That's the time where Uniq are going to look to do something. Until then, let's try to get more damage and more key items out on towards our champions.
Oh, Neos has been caught out in the river and pulled back by Rifty. He's able to flash away, keeping himself alive for the time being, but Uniq top laner not having a fun time in his first team fight of the game.
Yeah, Neos is straight up having a rough one. I don't envy his position this game, and I certainly don't blame him for it at all. Going blind pick in the draft is...
Okay. Edison, that's a lot of damage. Antwer showing, going on to No Name, but the knockup comes through, not enough to keep the Gragas alive, but Nita will still be attempting to dish out the damage. Antwer going down to Nash as Paul kiting away with the 5-point strikes on the backline, but gets interrupted on the dash back by the Tornado. This is a 1v3. You will not be winning as Nash secures a double kill.
It is really unfair, you know, that Ruddy just have Nash every game.
Yes! Yes,
it's an advantage I thought only Verdant had, you know? But yeah, at the start of this fight here, I mean, I was saying, wow, at the damage that Peterson took there. But Gragas getting that immediate pick and the damage coming out from Nita, yeah, I mean, it's just kind of over here. I'm glad that Uniq were trying to find something, trying to get that pick on No Name before all of this happened. But ultimately, you can see their margin for error is very, very low right now.
Incredibly so, as Ruddy attempting a repeat of their day one matchup against Uniq. I think they were 21-1 in terms of kills, so they bled a little bit more than they did then, but this has been a rapid game, especially by Ruddy standards.
I definitely think this game is a bit... like, they are much more in control of this particular game than they were of their first matchup. Even though it's not translated so much into kills, that's because their threat has been such that Uniq have just had to roll over and say, okay, mate, you can have that tower, you can have that plate, you're not gonna have any trouble from me. Nihilus also, just not really many options to just do anything to Rifty on the Cassante on top side, right? Rifty, by the way, that CS lead, is dramatically reduced because he immediately transferred that in mid-late game into groupings of his team, right? The Caitlyn, the Lux, that's what really matters. So long as he can facilitate that and facilitate Niter and this Yasuo.
Oh, No Name has found Paul, but Paul may have also found No Name. That cast knocking away Antwer, delaying the arrival of support, and it's miscommunication! And where flashes over the wall as Paul dashes away, and then Voxday will happily claim that kill.
That is a rough one. You'd think with No Name's usage of the cask there that there was actually a play available once Wukong's back in, but yeah, I guess they're just on different pages of the same book, and it's a book that Ruddy has been writing since draft phase. The game is firmly in their hands. And yeah, there's only so many times I can say variations of that, so I'd rather you guys start fighting over Baron, like, expeditiously, you know? That would be fantastic.
So I guess we'll leave the topic of how big the Ruddy lead is on the back burner for the time being.
It's big.
What do you want to see them do with it? How do they use this league to go and end the game? What time should we be seeing Unique's Nexus full?
I mean, we should be seeing them try to at least bait Baron very soon. I'm not sure if this Drake is even so worth it, to be honest, for them. Because you have Rifty shoving out bot here, you want to see him transfer that in towards mid, and you want to see Kate Lux move towards the Baron River side and just try to either make picks, this being an example of said pick, facilitate that pick into Baron control, and using that Baron control to take the Baron. And on that Baron, if Unique attempts to intercept it in any way, shape, or form, try to contest it in any way, shape, or form, because of the position that Ruddy are in, they shouldn't be able to do so. So you're talking about the next 2 rotations, they should be looking to do that, right? They've consolidated that pick into control of the Baron now. They're going to need to shove in the next wave, and on that wave, hopefully what you'll see is them moving towards the Baron pit, either starting the Baron or forcing Unique to make a decision with regards to what they do. See how then Voxley's hitting the wave first, right? This aggression means that they're intending to do this immediately into something like a Baron, or at least an aggressive play of some kind, right? It looks to me like they're not worried because they've chunked Peterson, that Peterson's going to contest away battle, so they can just immediately take out this tower. And whereas you can incrementally win like this, ultimately the Baron is going to let you turn one of these picks into potentially the end of the game.
Maybe they're going to get that onto Paul. No Name there with the knockout. That's a load of damage down onto Akali. Into the Shroud, dodging away, but on about 5% HP. Paul can no longer contribute to the fight. Antwer running away on the side. Then Voxnay on a killing spree, and they've grabbed a pick. It was onto the jungler. Ruddy heads straight for Nasha.
That right there, Baron control, immediately into pick, immediately into Baron, right? They vanished towards that topside jungle that they took full control off of the pick in mid lane, and Unique, they were like, okay, we need to contest this or they're going to get Baron. They got picked off for that, right? Is Paul trying to spy members of Ruddy, but look at the ward coverage in that jungle. There is none from Unique. Unique are here though. They know that they can't just give this up. But I mean, Ruddy are like, great, what are you gonna do about it? You know, they get that pick on the jungler, and it's a completely free Baron. It's not like the enemy has the Lux; they have the Lux. A steal is not happening today.
And with that Baron, we will be expecting Ruddy to apply a significant amount of pressure. It really feels like a catch-22 playing against Ruddy a lot of the time. They put you in situations where the best answer that you can give is still the wrong answer.
Yeah, Akali has to recall here. The wave clear from Karma is basically worthless now because it's entirely magic damage and the Baron buff minions are resistant to that exact form. Right here is where you'd love to have a Sivir, but Unique don't have that. They have their Ezreal. Ezreal's not so good in these situations where he's being perma-pushed in. That is his best form of wave clear at this point, and that does a lot of magic damage as well.
Oh my... Oh, no! Oh, that's a big cast set up by Nash, then Voxnay with another one. It is beautiful stuff from Ruddy. A pick with 2 dead on the side of Unique. Inhibitor down in the bottom lane, inhibitor down in the mid lane, and Ruddy They are looking for the push. They're looking for headshots onto Pedersen. Another one for them Boxday. Another one for them Boxday. A double kill for Ruddy's AD carry. Paul will shut him down at the death. But it is not going to be enough for Uniq. The rest of Ruddy will stand strong. They will stand tall. They will knock up Paul. They will kill him dead. Take down the Nexus tower. Take down the Nexus. And take down Uniq.
That was the kind of efficient game that we wanted to see from Ruddy. It was a statement game, right?
Yes.
Sure.